Well, guys, hello, and welcome back. So, we have some Dante's notes to read. First the episode mini, and then the actual notes themselves. So, yeah, let's just get to it, eh? Beyond the bus's corridor. Hopefully we can do it more or less fine. It happened exactly a week after that fruitless exchange. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners.
Thank you kindly. Starting now, you will be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night.
Faust gives the same instruction as always. In response, sinners groan and stretch like usual. Except this time, one sinner stuck out of that normalcy like a sore thumb.
What now? Leave him be, Ishi. It's not the first time he's all grumpy like that, is it? And tease, make sure to simmer down before you get in your room, Kay. All that grumbling thunder in there keeps me awake, you know?
The sinners' rooms, their lodging, personal space, and cell reflect their state of mind, or so I've heard. Each room's floors, walls, and overall ambience are shaped after the sinner's personality. And the view through the window changes depending on their emotions and mental state. Though all I've seen were distant glimpses through the window, so I don't have all the details. The room Heathcliff enters would sometimes actually rather frequently emit wuthering and stormy sounds. Usually he'd snap back with a "why should I?" or something like that, but he only clicked his tongue. I suppose he doesn't feel like arguing. Thanks to that, he stood in the corridor until all the other sinners, save for Faust, went into the room, staring down the passage with a frown. Maybe he was relieving stress this way. Yo ho. Yo ho. How'd I do it again? I forget. Gosh, no. How'd I do it again? I think it was like this, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's right there. Oh. There we go. And that right there is where the incident began. Yeah. Oh. What's with all those doors down the aisle? Heathcliff pointed in the same exact direction I did a week ago. Those doorways were beyond the no trespassing line blocking the way. Give me a second. He's like coming through to make it easier.
Heathcliff, I recommend against walking farther into the corridors than necessary.
That sure makes it sound awful suspicious.
There is nothing of which to be suspicious. You are better off listening to Faust.
What? You keep treasures or some such in there?
Faust...
Ooh, my bad. Faust's secretive attitude was enough to rouse his curiosity.
Heathcliff, do not do it. You'll regret your action.
Got well emotional and gabby, eh, Miss Cleverest? It's like you're actually hiding something there. He sprinted into the dark before we could stop him. What's in there? Just as I was about to ask Faust an obvious thing to be concerned over. Ah! Heathcliff's sharp scream echoed from the unlit area far into the corridor.
Dante, now is the time to take my left hand and run with me.
Whoa, huh?
I won't be able to get him out in time on my own. I may be engulfed myself if I don't act quickly. This is okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm
trying. It's kind of wonky right now, though. Before I could process what she meant, Faust ran off in the direction Heathcliff disappeared. Pickaroonies, wait for me. Ooh. As we crossed the line and proceeded deeper into the corridor, we came across a 3-way crossroads, white, blue, and red. I think I heard screams coming from the middle. However, without a moment's hesitation, Faust darted for the left aisle. But Faust, I know you're in a hurry, but are you sure this is the right way? I could have sworn I heard his voice coming from the center path.
I know.
Without elaborating further, Faust continued running. At another fork we encountered, Faust chose the right path. Right afterward, she entered the fifth door on the left side of that hallway. What is this? Right as I entered, another hall came into view. Its end was like a cliff. To be more precise, I felt some kind of gravitational pull trying to get me to fall to the end of the hallway. Heathcliff. Then I saw him. He crawled toward us with all his might from the middle of the hall. As if he might fall the moment he lets go. What the hell is all this in this place? Even though I couldn't see much in the dark behind him, I definitely felt some presence in it. Faust, what's over?
Dante, I want you to hold the knob of this open door tightly. Firmly grip my hand as well.
Holding my hand securely, she gradually approaches Heathcliff. This hallway isn't tilted or anything, is it? Why does it feel like we're hanging off a cliff?
That is because we're in a corridor, obviously. Dante, do not let go.
Reminding me to hold fast, Faust extended her other arm while holding her Y-hander.
Heathcliff, grab this if you would. If you would.
Man, are you mental? My hand will get gashed if I try grabbing that giant blade.
You might prefer deep wound on your palms to what you can suffer down there.
Baffled, Heathcliff looked at the sword and then the darkness behind him.
Hell, booger. Ugh.
Dante, pull him up. Might and main.
Get Dante. Okay. Right as we pulled Heathcliff up. No, I'm not sure if it's even right to say that we pulled him up, but nevertheless, Faust hoisted his unconscious body by the legs and started rushing, saying that we need to return this way, the way we came. Following her lead, I supported his arms and trailed behind, keeping his head from dragging along the floor. After burning some time,
Let us say that it's fortunate he wasn't lost in a deeper area. Dante, you'll have to turn the clock.
Heathcliff's gonna be okay, right?
The psychological damage is likely to be severe. Our work will be encumbered if he loses his mind.
I didn't have a choice.
Good work back there, Dante. While it is unfortunate that we have lost a portion of our limited break time to this.
Faust, just what's in there? Where does it lead? Can't you tell me at this point? I've seen that stuff now. It's only natural that I want to know what resides there, and what was chasing Heathcliff. Moreover, why did it never show itself to us? And why did it vanish instead of chasing him any further? These questions were driving me crazy, but alas.
As stated earlier, there are limits to what Faust can elaborate.
Yup, I honestly didn't expect much.
The corridor... Yeah, my bad. The corridor, UIF... No, that's not right. The corridor, UIF...
Yoshi muttered with a cigarette in her mouth, walking past us both. She must have left her room while we were out on a rescue mission.
However...
Faust proceeded as if not a soul had just walked by, as if nothing was just said. Huh?
We did prevent a sudden vacancy in the bus department. Though I wouldn't exactly call it a reward, I do suppose it isn't a bad idea to inform you of one thing.
Oh, let me hear it. The unexpected boon had me rubbing my hands together. Right, what will she tell me now?
Dante, when you traverse a road you've never walked before, what do you do?
I mean... use a map, obviously.
That's right. And even if you don't have a map, your brain will form images to serve as one. From there, on that map there will be a starting point and a destination clearly marked. When you return from your trip, you will trace back through that way.
It's so obvious, I don't need to verbally answer. I just nodded along.
Hopefully that makes it clear enough.
Huh? This is why you should remember where you've started in the corridor, especially when you open a door. Flabbergasted by the abrupt end, I blurted.
Now then, Faust has grown tired. Do take care.
She walked through the door before I could say something, leaving me with a riddle. Of course it would go like this. I sighed out of frustration, but not a breath of air is expelled from my pitiful clock. Still, left powerless. All I can do is boot up this electronic notebook and piece together what little information I have collected. Now, I'm not going to explain too much, but I will say if you've read Leviathan, you probably can guess what this area is, and you probably shouldn't go around not knowing where to go. That's all I will say. You should read it if you can, although I haven't read it all myself because I couldn't. Although I would have. Don't get me wrong, I would have. But never mind, Nimbus Company, here we go. The Golden Boast. Record number 2. The sinners seem to experience a kind of dizziness when they get near this thing. I hear it's called resonating, and it might be similar to how I get headaches. Once we return with a bow, Virgilius calls people from some other department to take care of it. When I asked him about this, he just said it's submitted to headquarters. City's technology. From turning rudimentary cogs to overlaying an alternate identity via my order. This one here. Here we go. Ego. Perfect. Record number 1 and 2. Okay. Ego. Shorthand for extermination of geometrical organ. Sick. I don't know what this means. Seems to be a byproduct of the Ink-Fallon generation once done by the now collapsed Elcor. Reports say the wing originally produced weapons and equipment out of the Ego for its employees to use, which doesn't really seem to match what I've seen of it. Record number 2. From what I can tell, the Ego our sinners use appears to work by the user making the emotions or self-identity of the abnormality their own, although I haven't experienced it myself. I've heard a few times that it feels similar to being influenced by someone else's thoughts and reflecting it to life, walking as if in their shoes. Singularities. Record number 1. Simply put, some kind of incredible technology owned by the Wings. I was curious how they're different from the other technologies in the city. I guess it's the fact singularities are monopolized by the Wings that own them. Record number 2. Another thing of note is that they almost seem to be outside the realm of logic or classical physics. Faust says it's unnecessary to bother thinking about the intricacies in my current state, but I don't think you can brush off flesh regrowing from a severed arm or stickers that boost your luck as things that just work that way. Wait, is my head a singularity too? Red. A strangely shaped object is inside, kinda like a bulb-like thing. I don't know how I should describe it. It sometimes wiggles and twitches. Staring into this glimmering thread makes me feel rather woozy. Faust wouldn't let me hold it in my hand for long, so I put it back in place and let her explain what it was. In summary, it's all sorts of possibilities woven into spindles of thread, or something like that. To be frank, I can't really call this a summary when I just wrote down what Faust said almost word for word. I couldn't understand what she meant exactly. It gives me a similar feeling to looking up at the star that appears when I wind the clock, so do I like all. That's enough of that. We did all the syndicates, yep. We did all the fixers, yep. And that's good. And Nimbus Company, and the city, and that will be it for today. And I hope you enjoyed this brief reading, and yeah, peace out, and that should be good.